Hey, what's up? Live. I had to stop the other one because they were going to block me. Hello. Welcome to my channel. I think I'm buffering again. I really hate that. Yes. I mean buffering. So what does everybody think of my theme song? Backwards. Say what? Say what? Nobody. Hello, hello. 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 Damn lies. Hello, welcome to my channel, Exploring a Bollock Lake with Jimmy. How are you doing tonight? Oh, well, you're back again, are you? Hey, Deej, how are you? Yeah, well, it was buffering in my last stream. It's been a quiet night. How are you doing tonight? I was at bottle collecting today, a bottle digging, and I found quite a few decent bottles. I found a Red Rose coffee tin. It's too bad it wasn't perfect. Yeah, the heat's terrible. We just had a rain, and it rained from 7 o'clock till 7:30, and I mean it just poured down. And then after the rain was over, you could see all the steam coming off the sidewalk and the pavement. And now it's even hotter. But you get kind of the same weather we do living in Michigan. Yeah, when we're surrounded in the great with the Great Lakes. You know, you got Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. That just creates more humidity. But my latest bottle digging video, one of the ones I did today, should be up later on or tomorrow sometime. So have you been out digging? See, I think it's just buffered there. Have you been out digging, Deej? Oh, you can't. It's heat. No. No, my car, I got my 2012 Escape died on me because the transmission screwed up. And in order to fix the transmission, you got to take the body off the frame, like take the frame off the Escape, and that's going to cost about $3,000. So I said, no, scrap it. I'm not doing that. That's just crazy. $3,000. Yeah, it's crazy. So we're looking. Well, we do have another car, but I'm not spending $3,000 on a 2012. You know, we bought it. Um, no, it's a 2000. It's a 2000. Anyways, we bought it. It was 2 years old, and so it doesn't owe us anything. Yeah, lower ball joint. Yeah, yeah. So, do you ever live stream, Deej? Not much. Well, right now I'm using my cell phone to live stream. I can't figure out how to do it on my laptop. It's a pain in the ass. Have you noticed any buffering? Because tomorrow morning they're going to be, no, oh, that's good. Tomorrow morning they're going to be going over these videos and seeing if there's any buffering in it. But I got some real nice bottles today. I'm going to go back out metal detecting too this week. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. They say that I have enough internet, whatever they say I have enough of, so, but it happens. But it's been a quiet night. There's so many live streams going on right now. Then I get people on that don't want to talk. They just sit there. Makes it difficult. So do you have all your bottles displayed? I got a lot of my bottles on display. Oh, 4 different mason jars. I found 3 today, but they were all smashed. I found what brands were they? Were they Ball mason jars or Mason or Crown or? I've been going over mine. There's a Facebook group you can go on, and they deal with the Ball jars. Oh, that's an American page. And then there's the Canadian canning jars. Oh, yeah. Hello. Welcome to my channel. Jump in. Oh, see? Gone. I keep a lot of mine. A lot of my jars. I'm still trying to set it up. There's some of my jars. Then I got my antique glass over here. In that cabinet. But I'm looking for a display case now for my bottles. My display case for my bottles is small. I can't display much. So then I got crown jars up there. Atlas Slicing, Presto Perfect, Mason, Tray. Nope, don't have any of those. I got this is my crown. Well, that went blurry. In the window, yeah, looks good. This is my perfect seal, but I'm all blurry. But I got a perfect seal. and the ball. And then I got my crown. But I've been going through all my canning jars. My oldest canning jar, I think, is from 1880. Do I have it here or not? No. This is my ball. One of my balls. This is ball improved. No? Well, I did a video last year at Granny's Dump, and you noticed there was a bottle there. There was a canning jar there. Do you remember what the name was? Because I'm going back there Wednesday, so I was going to pick it up for you. See, I need a cap for this one. No? Well, I got a couple Canadian brands. But I got a lot of jars, a lot of bottles. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many different bottles I have. But I collect just about everything, so yeah, I every cap I find I keep, because last year I found it was a rare Canadian cap for crown jars, like dates to like in the 1870s. How do you clean the ink off your bottles? I use like gritty sand, just out of the driveway, and I put soap in the jar and put the sand in, and then just swish it around. It's cheap, it cleans them, and I mean, you could go out and spend a fortune on bottle cleaners, but a little bit of soap, a little bit of gritty sand, and all that green stuff gone. But yeah, I started collecting bottles was 9, so I've been using my dad showed me how to clean all that stuff off with this grit sand. Like, it's not the fine sand, like it's basically fine gravel, basically what it is. Not the big pieces of gravel, but the fine gravel. And you swish it around and it's clean. But I use Dawn dish soap. That cleans them good too. You get a nice shine. Like, look at that. That's a nice shine. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. Some people do. They go out and buy the bottle roller or whatever it's called. I'm not doing that. Like I go out to bottle sites. I leave half the bottles that I find. Like, I only bring home bottles that are one I don't have. Oh yeah. Well, if it works, works. I think you have Dawn dish soap down in the States, don't you? It's Dawn dish soap you can use on your roses too. Like Dawn dish soap. You can use it on your bottles. You can put some in a spray jar and spray your roses. It kills the aphids on your roses. It's an all-around cleaner, and it's great for grease and oil. Just chews it right up. But no, I don't usually have that hard of a time with the bottles. Yeah, tumblers are expensive. See this one here, you can, if you get that gritty sand, you could actually get all that, um, stuff off in the bottles, and all you have to do is just basically just shake it, and it'll take it off. But this is non-such. I believe it's a medicine bottle. I found that last year or the year before. But I'm doing a video probably tomorrow. It's yep. You could put it on your tomatoes. Like get a squeeze jar. You know, like what your cleaners come in, like your window cleaners, like those plastic spray jars. Get an empty one of those, fill it full of warm water, put 3 or 4 drops of the Dawn dish soap in, give it a good shaking, and then just go out and spray it. Works great. Yeah, I got a lot of hello, welcome to my live stream. We're just talking about bottles and how to clean them. But yeah, I actually found a good spot. It's probably going to take me most of summer to dig it out, because it starts about 1950 and it goes back. So the top layer is 1950 and then you work your way down. The ratio, about 4 drops, 4 or 5 drops. So just squeeze 4 drops into a regular bottle, squirt bottle. You know, like your cleaners come in. I don't know what cleaners you have in the States, but we have Windex bottle. I think you have Windex. So it comes in a squirt, like a spray bottle. So you make sure you take out all the, like wash out all the Windex or cleaner. Fantastic comes in a squirt jar. But anyways, wash it all out. Make sure it's nice and clean. Filled up with warm water. Put in 4 drops. And then use it. Just hang on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. So I take a regular bottle like this. So that's why, so you get a regular bottle, wash it out. So, and then, because I can't show the label or I'll get a copyright, but wash it out really good. And then filled up full of water. 4 or 5 drops of soap. Give it a good shake so it's mixed up, and then off you go with it. You can do roses, you can do anything. It's great. But Dawn dish soap, it's good stuff. You can use it for pretty much anything. And I use it on bottles. Sometimes I'll put the Dawn dish soap, like I'll fill up a bucket of water with water and Dawn dish soap, and then get some gravel, get the water in, and then just give her a good shake, and it cleans it right off. It's really good. Well, hey folks, how are you? Discovery Planet. Nice to see you out. We were just talking about cleaning bottles. How do you clean your bottles? Because I use like it's fine gravel. So not the large pieces, but the smaller pieces. And with Dawn dish soap, water, gravel, and then you just give her a good shake until it's all done. But today, and then I also use, I go to the dollar store and I get these brushes. Yeah, but there's some bottles you can't get a brush into. Like I got brushes as well, but like there's some bottles you cannot get a brush into. Well, try that Dawn dish soap on your tomato plants. It's not going to hurt them. Not going to hurt them at all. So have you been out digging Discovery? Coat hanger or paper towel. There you go. Or go to the dollar store and get the bottle washing brushes. I think you can get a package. There's 3 different brushes in a package. But I got a couple bottles this afternoon that my smallest brush will not go inside. You got a sore back and a few bottles. You and me both. I got a sore back. I got blister, and I got a few, but it was certainly worth it. I was out from about 10 o'clock till 3, and it's hot and humid, but I was out and I made up about 8 videos, so you should have them. Yeah, I made up 8 bottle digging videos, and I'm just working on them now. But yeah, I got a sore back too. But I'm seeing my pain doctor on Wednesday, so maybe he'll fix it. My pain doctor is one of my biggest fans. Yeah, I'm trying to get some videos ahead. Like before last summer, um, last July before my wife's surgery, I had like 8 to 10 videos already made up, ready to go. And then she had the surgery, and I didn't do any for, um, let me guess. Discovery, you're in New Brunswick, aren't you? See if I'm paying attention. Oh, yeah. New Brunswick. Yeah, I thought so. See, I'm paying attention. I'm in Ontario. So, Discovery, do you dig like landfill dumps or do you go onto old farms and roadside dumps? Yeah, I like them. Like, I like going to, like, I like taking a hike in the bush along an old fence line or someplace. How far is that? Oh, from on where Discovery is? Because Discovery's in New Brunswick. I'm in Ontario, and I believe that would be at least a 12-hour drive. So I know it's for me to go from where I live to Montreal. I think that's about an 8 to 10 hour drive. So New Brunswick, um, yeah, it might even be like a close to, no, it wouldn't be a 20-hour drive, I don't think. I don't know how many miles or kilometers it is. Yeah, I love the home like the homestead sites. You can find anything. I mean, anything. It's amazing what they threw out. Like today, I found a kid's telephone, and it was metal. The receiver, and oh, you find buttons and marbles and all kinds of stuff. And it's an easy dig because it's on top of the ground for the most part. You just clear off leaves or branches. And like the one I'm doing today, yeah, it's pretty far. Uh, like if you were to go, like from my, like it's actually closer, Deech, for me to go to your place than it would be to go down to New Brunswick, believe it or not. Canada is a big place, wide open spaces, and we're pretty like spread out. Because I think, Deej, going to your place, I think it's about a 7 hour drive for me. Yeah, that well, 19 hours. That makes sense. Because I know, well, the last time I was down in New Brunswick was probably close to 30 years ago, and it was a long drive. Because my best friend moved down to St. John, no, Fredericton. And so I drove down to see them. Yeah, yeah, it probably is shorter. And then you don't have the language barrier going through Quebec. Because if you don't know French, you have a hard time going through Quebec, stopping for gas, or going to McDonald's or something. But I'll reserve my thoughts on Quebec. But yeah, if you go down through the states, you can go up through Maine, like through New York to Maine, Vermont or Maine, and then cross back over into New Brunswick. I haven't been to the States in years. I was going to go, but like I was going to go, I was going to do a lot of things, but then this past year happened. Damn. You talk about things happening, snowballing. Hey, welcome to my channel. We're talking about bottles and traveling and um, jump right in. But yeah, I've been digging homestead sites, bottle sites since I was 9, and I like the hunt. You know, you go through a forest. You're the old mining camps. Um, well, it's ones I'm thinking about. Um, why chapstick? We have chapstick in Ontario. They sell chapsticks in Canada. Um, were you in Quebec? Like, what province were you in? Ontario, Quebec? Because they've sold chapstick in Ontario for a good 30 years or over that. I think those mining camps you were talking about would be about 7 hours. I think they were up around Sudbury because there's a lot of mining camps from Sudbury to Timmins. And to go to Timmins from my place is about 11 hours, 11-hour drive. Um, but yeah, the mining camps start from Sudbury. So that's probably what they were talking about. But yeah, chapstick is definitely sold Ontario. You have a lot of. Do you have mining camps down in New Brunswick? Because where I live about 3 hours west of Toronto, so northwest of Toronto. Cobalt. Oh, that's near Ottawa, I believe. Down that way, anyways. Pickering. I think it's between. I think it's down around Kingston because there's a border crossing there. You can go to Thousand Islands. Yeah. I've never been there, but I think it's around the Thousand Islands because you could take a boat trip through the Thousand Islands, and a lot of Americans come up through Kingston to take the Thousand Islands trip. So I believe it's down that way. But if you want to come up to see me, oh, Lake Nipissing Resort, Cap Lips. Oh, yeah, Lake Nipissing. That's down, well, that'd be north of Kingston or Belleville. Lake Nipissing. I don't know offhand. Stoneware? Yeah. Oh, do I find much? I do, but it's usually broken. But I collect stoneware. I find it at garage sales and flea markets. But a lot of the stoneware I find is broken. Like I haven't found a ginger beer bottle in I don't know, 25 years that it wasn't broken. So it's tough. I found a crock this afternoon, but it was broken. Yeah, like some like I'm going to do a, I'm going to dig out an outhouse this fall on this farm that I've got, and hopefully there'll be some stoneware in the bottom of that because the farm dates back to 1850. So I'm hoping that there'll be a few outbuildings if I dig down, and should be able to find some stoneware. I haven't dug one of those on my channels yet. Yeah, they're really hard. I mean, stoneware is hard. I mean, yeah, and unless you go to a like a town landfill, but I mean, even that is still difficult. I mean, they are very hard to find. Especially the old stuff. I don't live in like the area of Ontario I live was settled. It was opened up in 1850, but I mean, not a lot of pioneers came up to this area um, until like 1880 or 1890. If you want the old stuff, you go down towards Toronto, Niagara Falls, then down towards Kingston, Ottawa. You'll get a lot of older stuff there because that was opened up. Like Toronto was opened up, was settled in like around 1804. They set up a town, but Toronto's all paved over now. Hello, welcome to my channel. If you have a question, jump in. We got Diggin' Deej. He's in the chat. The ginger beer, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, they pulled them out. Yeah. My two friends that live in Scotland, they sent me a couple. They sent me this one here. This is a stone ginger beer, and they sent me this one and a couple other ones, because where my family came from in Scotland, they dig in that area, so they've sent me a lot of stuff from Laggan and Inverness area. I did a few videos on the mail that they sent me, and they sent me this one here. Still has the original cap. There's no cracks, no nothing. Yeah. So in return for them sending me some of this stuff, I've sent them pop bottles and like stuff that they can't get over there. I send it over to them. So they can't, like, they don't have a lot of vintage 7-Up bottles, Coke bottles, stuff like that. So I've sent them stuff. But yeah, it's my one buddy, Steve Diamond. He has a channel. You can go and look at his channel. He stopped doing videos until he reaches 1,000 subscribers. And then my other buddy, Ian, he has a channel, but you can find their links in my channel. Let me just get it up quick. So it's Steve Diamond. Oh, Toronto's nuts. And you go to Steve Diamond and Hindu Digs. So that's HendoDigz. And they are great. But yeah, I lived in the Toronto area we lived in the GTA. Hold up, what higher? What did you want to? This came from Scotland, and then I got this one. This is a ginger beer. It came from Leeds in Harrogate, but it came from. It was found in the village that my family came from in Scotland. Ginger beer, and they sent me a cream jar. And this came from Inverness Shire, Scotland. So they've sent me quite a few things, which is great. But yeah, when you're going on these homestead sites, you're walking along, and usually it's along an old fence, and yeah, that's where they pitch all the stones, and that hits the crocks, the bottles. So you're hoping that the bottles sunk down before the stones hit it. That's what makes it difficult. Like when you guys start picking out rocks, and boulders, and like the one I was in this morning was along an old fence line. So you have all these cedar trees growing over it. You got all the dead branches inside, and then you have all the vines and other stuff. So I was hacking my way through. So by the time I got to where I could dig, it took me about an hour just clearing away all the crap so I could dig it out. And then, yep, you're subbed. So then all the cans are on top too for some reason. Like I had like hundreds of juice cans and all this. So by the time I cleared all that out, I was at the 1950s level. Then I dug down and I found a license plate from 1932. So I was at that level, and then I dug down even further. So by the time I finished digging, I was in the 1920s, and I was tired. I was just starting to find medicine bottles and other stuff from like the 1920s, 1930s. And so I'm going to have a video out tomorrow of the start of the dig. And then I did 8 videos. So I'm going to put them on. I'm going to put 2 of those out this week. Then you have to wait till next week to see more. But then I was driving along, and I found this abandoned manure spreader along the fence. How deep did I go down? Well, today I went down about 2 feet, because it was along the side of the road. So the ditch goes down, and the farmer had filled it up pretty much level with the road. So you got to dig all that out. Like this road I was on, it was a 1-lane road. It was gravel. No cars came down that road while I was digging for like 6 hours. So it was peaceful, quiet. And so I just started digging, and before I knew it, I was down 2 feet. So yeah, go to Steve Diamond and Hindu Digs It. it's in my good friends on my channel. So yeah, I might have to update it. There's a couple channels that are gone now. I'm subscribed. Oh yeah, apple juice cans. Yeah. Oh, there had to been 100 apple juice cans. Apple juice, tomato juice, oil cans, and they're all rusted. They're just, I don't know why they're all on top. So by the time you dig down, you're down about a foot when you start finding stuff. It's crazy. Sorry, just checking on my computer screen. But I was out, I'm not sure, I think the video is released, but I was out last week and I was looking for a new site. And I came across this, it was just sitting on the ground. It was a wedge. So when you're cutting down trees, you can stick this wedge in. It was just sitting on the surface of the ground. So, I mean, it pays to just go through an old forest just looking on the ground. I found a cast iron wood stove door. It was leaning up against a tree, just sitting there. I was just going for a walk, and it was just sitting there. So I like doing that because the surface finds are just as good. But so many people have left YouTube. It's crazy. Like since they did all the changes last year, I know about 6 or 7 YouTubers that are done. Like you don't see them on anymore. Like I don't get it. When I joined, I actually this will be I joined YouTube in 2015 in March, and then I started doing videos in July. So this is my 4th year. I think it's July 26th I started. It's my 4th year doing the videos. Yeah. But you can look for old juice cans too. Hundreds of them. And ketchup bottles. Oh, man. This afternoon I was digging and I found in one spot, one about a foot wide, foot deep, 7 ketchup bottles. And did you know they were all perfect? They were just perfect. But I don't collect ketchup bottles. I do have some old ones. I was at an old dump, and I think they were Heinz ketchup. I think they were from like the 1880s, like no 1890, 1895, and 1900. And then I got one ketchup bottle from 1920. That's it. I won't. That's the only ketchup bottles that I want. And I only wanted those because I found them and they were old. Other than that, I leave them. Like I leave a lot of bottles. Last year I brought home a jam jar. It was from the 1920s. The only reason why I brought it home was the company name was on the jar, like it was embossed on the jar. But it's very rare that I'll keep bottles now. Farm dump by the stream? Yeah. I haven't been there for a while, but yeah, I'm still digging it. I've got the massive dump. I haven't been there in over a year. But right now, it's like the massive dump is way back in the bush. It's about an hour walk back in. And right now, the mosquitoes and black flies are going crazy. So I'm staying away from that. I have two farms that I'm doing. I'm metal detecting on both farms, and bottle digging, and then I have Granny's dump. I'm still on that one, but the mosquitoes and black flies this year are horrible. I don't know about you, about where you guys are, but they're just awful. Like normally I could go in the bush and I'm not bothered by them, but this year there's so many they could carry you out. And the horse flies, holy crap. I don't know. I mean, the bloody horse flies, they come with a knife and a fork. You know, they're coming to bite your ass good. I'm not about to mess around with those, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go to the massive dump probably in September when it starts cooling down and there's less bugs. But I want to get uh, yeah, well that makes sense. Um, try going, try finding a back road. Um, yeah, well, the streams are flooded. I mean, we're getting so much rain, but Discovery, go down, and I know you have them in New Brunswick. Find a back road. I mean, that's a gravel road. That's one lane. They don't plow it in the wintertime. Go down those. Go, just keep going down and drive slowly, and you'll probably find a dump along the side of the road, like along the fence. Because some farmers, I mean, they don't want to mess up their land, so they put it in the ditch. So I'm looking forward to that, Deej. But yeah, this Discovery, try that. Try finding a dead end road or just a back road with no traffic, no nothing, and drive slowly and look in the ditch. You'll probably see right along the fence line. You'll probably see cans and tires and other crap. Now the bottle site that I'm at right now, I'll probably get um well, this morning I got 6 hours worth of videos. So there's probably another 20 hours worth of videos there because I do I'll go to a dump site. Yeah. What was I saying? Like I go to a dump site, I record the video what I'm digging. So I do it in Poison Similac. Um, that doesn't sound good. I know we have poison ivy in Ontario and poison oak. I know I've never heard of that before, but yeah, you like the poison ivy up here, you have to be careful with because poison ivy, they say, oh, don't touch it if it's flowering. No, it's not the flower, it's the oil from the leaves. And you get that oil on your skin from poison ivy. It's the same as poison oak. It doesn't matter if it's flowering or not. You don't want the oil on your skin, so you got to wear gloves and don't wipe your face after touching poison ivy. Just toss the gloves out. But yeah, there's not much you can do. Just what you could probably do, Deej, is get spray bottle again and use some vinegar and just go along and spray it. Spray that poison. Similac. Um, in Boss Poison. I found two today, but they were broken. But I have found them. My buddies from Scotland sent me some poison bottles. They sent me, I think, 7 different types of poison bottles. But in Ontario, I have found, I think I bought 8 poison bottles from Ontario, but I don't have them unpacked because I'm looking for a display case. Like, I got these shelves back here. I bought these, but they're terrible. They're garbage. But yeah, as far as poisons seem to be kind of rare, especially in a farm dump. I don't know why. Yeah, it's weird. No, I know. You would think on a farm they would be common, but they're rare. I don't know why. But yeah, my friends from Scotland, they sent me quite a few. I don't know. You have to go back in, check those videos of uh, if you want to find those videos, you got to go back to 2016, 17, and you'll see mail call videos from my like from Steve Diamond and Hindu Digs It, and you'll see some of the jars that they sent me. Like, they must have sent me, a good 30 jars. Because, you can't see it from there. Yeah, I don't have. Like, I find a lot of these bottles, medicine bottles, like this one is, it's called, like, it's probably bought at some fair or something. This is called 3-in-1, and it's 3-in-1 medicine. And this one here, I just love it. This is a hair tonic, and it's Harlan for the hair. I love that. Harlan for the hair. I love those bottles. I like the weird stuff. Hair tonic bottles. This one here isn't very old. Well, it's from the 20s. This one here is a little bit older, from 1900 roughly. It's 3-in-1. So what's your oldest bottle discovery that you found? Discovery, you still with us? Yeah. Only one in Boss Milk. Well, you know why, don't you, Deech? Because the milk bottles were picked up again. Yeah. But if the milk bottle wasn't broken, then it went back to the dairy, or you got your deposit on it. So that's why they're so rare, because they went back to the dairy. 1870s. Well, you would have older bottles in New Brunswick, like older sites, wouldn't you? Like down around Fredericton, you would have a lot of older places. But yeah, you would think, like, I don't want to say this too loud, but yeah, 3-in-1 sewing machine. Oh yeah, I've got one of those. Yeah, that's what this is. 3-in-1. You could use it. You could probably use it for your sewing machine, and then if you had the flu, you could probably drink it and get cure the flu. Because like they sold this stuff along the side of the road, or at fairs, stuff like that. It was a cure-all, and it was mainly just alcohol. But yeah, that's why pop bottles and milk bottles are so hard to find, because they went back to the dairy, or kids would raid the dumps and collect all the pop bottles and give them back for the deposit. Like when I was a kid in the 1970s, I'd go around collecting pop bottles and beer bottles, and that was my spending money. I would get 2 cents on a beer bottle. Yeah, the seams. But the most I would get for the beer bottles was 2 cents a bottle, and the pop bottle I'd get 5 cents. So I'd gather up enough beer bottles and pop bottles for a couple bucks. 1890s. That's still doing good. That's still over 100 years old each. Like there's a lot of people out there right now. They're digging 1950s to 1960s dumps, like the kids are. Like I see that, and like when I first started digging, um, well, if you find, go to a small town in your area, and it might take a bit, but go to a small town, and I do mean small, like 100 people or 200 or 300 people, and see if they have a library, and see where their dairy was in the 1920s, because a lot of the milk bottles were embossed. Like it was really big in the 1920s and 1930s for the embossed milk bottles. So it might take you a little bit of homework. Go to the libraries or send emails, however you want to do it, and see where the local dairies, like the small town dairies, were. Because I'm quite sure there's probably a small town dairy in your area, and you could probably, if you do some homework, you'll probably find out some. But I don't dig for like a Pacific bottle. Um, when I go out, I just go out one, just to start digging, just to find whatever. And like I said, like it doesn't matter if it's this, 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 or even one of these. You know, I go out to dig because I enjoy the excitement of trying to find stuff. So that's how I end up with like a lot of different things, like different styles. It's not, I don't, like some people will just collect pop bottles. or medicine bottles. I collect it all. Not so much the pop bottles though. I'm not. I don't have room for pop bottles unless they're. Uh, uh, if the pop bottles come from like a small town pop company, I'll keep that. But if it's Coke, Pepsi, I don't keep those because they're not rare. I mean, you know how many people collect Coke bottles? I mean, there's millions of people out there like they're hoarding Coke bottles, think they're going to be worth a fortune someday. But I do have some. My dad, um, I guess about a year ago, year and a half ago, my dad was at a flea market and there was a bunch of Coke bottles and Pepsi bottles for sale. And he thought it was a good deal. And he went out and he bought me a large box of these bottles. Yeah, I understand I understand they would ship them in milk cans. But um, if you go to the library first for your area, look up dairy companies, and you will see that if it was a small town of 1,000 people, there'll be a dairy guy who did his own processing on his farm. So he would have those bottles. But that's what I mean. Like there's like you're talking the 1920s for some of this stuff. Like the small town dairies had their own bottles. Um, sorry. This one here, this was from a small dairy. It was a local dairy, and I think it's the 1940s. And but this is what you'll find. Well, all I can say, Deej, they're out there. Be patient. You will find a milk bottle. You won't find a lot. Yeah, barrels, yeah, barrels, cans, stuff like that. Um, you got to think. Um, you got to think the way people think now. You're trying to think about how people might have thought in the 1920s or older. But people still toss their garbage the same way now as they did in the 1890s. They toss it out along the side of the road. They toss it in bushes and streams. So think about where you see people tossing garbage now. Yeah, well, I like the medical ones, but so think about where people toss their garbage now on a back road. Like you'll see someone who can't afford to take their stuff to the dump. They find a back road and they toss it there. People don't change. Like what people do now, they did the same thing 100 years ago. Times change, people don't. So if you think like that, then you're going to find bottle sites everywhere. But we start thinking about like people in the 1890s, you go, well, they had a horse and buggy, so they couldn't take their garbage out. Well, of course they could. They could They just put it in the buckboard wagon and took it out to a ditch somewhere because they didn't want it on their farmland. So their horses and cattle and pigs or sheep, whatever, could get their hoofs cut or their skin cut. So they would take it to the side of the farm where they're not using, where it's stones or a ditch, and you just got to find it. People polluted back in the 1890s like they do now. No, it's no different. That's how I find it. I just think about people now, back roads, you'll find it. Can't see what bottle. Oh, okay. That's a cream bottle. And just a second, I found a couple. Sorry, guys. You should be able to find one of these. This one I haven't cleaned very good, but this is Cousins Dairy. Cousins Dairy. Let me see the name. Cousins Dairy. This is from the early 1950s. But you could also be passing up these. These little ones. These are creamers. If you went to a restaurant in 1930, they didn't have the small plastic creamer for your coffee. This is what you got. So this is like a small creamer for your coffee or your tea. And there's like a small milk bottle. So okay, this is your creamer for your coffee, and this is your milk for your tea or your coffee. But these are small, and there's another one. It's kind of a different shape, but you could find these too in your bottle size. You just got to know what you're looking for. Oh. Well, guys, I think I'm going to have to call it a good night. My phone's dying. I did this on my cell phone. So, but I had a great night. I appreciate it. And I'll be back on again soon. Now that my internet seems to be working good. And I'll have some more bottles for you. Bye for now. Have a good night.